Hello out there, welcome to Horrors of History. I am the one and only Rendrad Selak, and here I am at Fort Adams with my first mate who's a little shy to be putting his face on the Book of Faces. I don't blame him because our pictures are everywhere as far as wanted, so we don't want to do that to him. A structure that would be very much so not wanted by my kind back in the day, and even up through World War II, would have been this beautiful beast behind me. Fort Adams, which this year is celebrating its 200th birthday. This structure was a monster, and even if you can't afford to come down to the tours, which I highly recommend it, walk the outside of this thing to see the size of this. Check out the monument, which is beautiful. We'll give a great description of what this fort used to be and go into the details of itself. Now, this fort was very unique out of a lot of the 40 forts that were built. This is part of a fortification called the Fortification Act, which start in the 1820s due to our conflicts with the British during the 1812. They didn't want that stuff to happen again, so they started putting these into act. At that time, this would cost this country a whopping $5 million for the construction of these forts. That's insane, even in today's terms. Now, it had to be done, though. We didn't want any outside invaders ever coming in and doing to us what the British did during 1812. We were very salty about that. This started construction, like I said, 1824. 30 years completed. However, Fort Adams stays up and going right prior to the Korean War, before it hands over the keys to the Navy. The Navy has enough of it, and it becomes state property. Unfortunately, the state of Rhode Island has not done a good job of upkeeping this and keeping this from being vandalized throughout its time. It has seen fire, Mother Nature, and vandals. It's very sad to see some of this stuff, but it is very impressive. The west wall alone has 117 artillery pieces that were reported to be on that. That's not including the 478 artillery pieces on the base combined. When we look at this thing, what I'm going to tell you what makes this unique, I was starting this earlier on, is this structure right here. Now, as you look at this, you say, oh, it's just, it's just a statue. But it's definitely, it's giving you a picture of what's called the fifth wall. This is the only fortification out of the 40 that had that fifth wall. Why do we have that fifth wall, you ask? Well, Newport, and in front of this, has a very large chunk of land that, undefended, we could get swarmed, and it swamped the fort. This structure, however, would stop that. Not only did it have a lot of nasty artillery pieces on there, it had a lot of death traps inside this thing. And going forth, you'd have more structures right here, and then in the field going out that way. Later on, I'll show you where the Southern Redoubt is, which you would have to deal with before even getting to this thing. And the Southern Redoubt, to tell you how large this fort is, the Southern Redoubt is the size of Fort Sumter. And that is pretty impressive in its own way. So if you ever get the chance and you're in Newport, especially when the weather's nice, come down and check it out. It is open up till December. Come October, later on in October, December, it goes on weekend tours only. And they do not open up self-guided. It's only guided, which I recommend anyways. There are two pretty decent tour guides that are here. Unfortunately, they might not be in the winter, but during the summer, I recommend Steve Ferris or Mike Pine. They are very good at what they do when it comes to this structure. I don't want to give away too much more because, like I said, I could be here forever, and my first mate is getting a little antsy. He keeps looking over at the law folks over there, and the last time he was in shackles, it didn't work out too well for him. It definitely wasn't one of those, I would say, R&R shackle situations. An extra R for pirate, if you know what I mean. But we're going to keep walking. We're going to have some fun here, give you guys some more structure footage, and we'll catch you later.